We will now move into consent items. I need a motion for superintendent's recommendation, personnel action.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we have roll call, Monica, please?
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on to business policy 1.1, superintendent's recommendation, policy BCB, revised second reading adoption, school board member conflict of interest.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we have roll call, Monica, please?
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 1.2, superintendent's recommendation, policy DAC new, second reading adoption, federal fiscal compliance.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we have roll call, Monica, please?
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on to 1.3, superintendent's recommendation, policy DJB and DJBR, new second reading adoption. Federal procedure, I can't pronounce.
Procurement.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please, Monica?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on to 1.4, superintendent's recommendation, policy DKC revised, second reading adoption, expenses, authorization, reimbursement.
So moved.
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please, Monica?
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on to 1.5, superintendent's recommendation, policy GBEA revised, second reading adoption, staff ethic, conflict of interest, and anti-fertilization.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Brago, are these new changes in these policies going to go out to staff?
Yes, everything's usually updated. Number one is on our policy handbook, and then we'll ask our communication person to get that out.
Is that good? Harsh. Okay, can I have roll call, Monica, please?
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on to 2.0, other. 2.1, superintendent's recommendation. I need a motion for the approval of out-of-state travel to Anaheim, California by Karen Sheff and qualifying future business leaders of American students.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Ms. Chef, how many students could you come up, please?
Yes, sir.
I don't see how many students going.
It's one student
And it said teacher and chaperone. You the teacher, correct?
and the chaperone.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Any other questions?
I just have a question. Is this
Yes.
the first time that one of our students is making it to the nationals?
You know, I don't know the history of the FBLA Nationals with Adams City High School, but it's not my first time. I've been to it before, but I don't know. You know, Mr. Mercer was here for 15, 14 years, something like that, and I haven't actually asked him. I don't know if any of the students in the previous, but I can't imagine because the DECA and the FBLA programs have been around for, 75 years, and it's one of the oldest programs in the state of Colorado, so I can't imagine it's the first time.
Congratulations and thank you on this
Thank you. It's a really neat student that's going, so it's a sure honor to chaperone her. She's amazing. Mr. Ho would know as well. Yeah, she's amazing.
And she's supposed to give us a presentation when she comes back.
Yeah, sure. She'd love to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Can we have roll call, Monica?
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on, 2.2, Superintendent's Recommendation. I need a motion for the approval of out-of-state travel to Roswell, New Mexico for Adams City High School Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps program to conduct 5-day leadership camp at the New Mexico Military Institution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, Monica, please?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on, 2.3, Superintendent's Recommendation. I need a motion for the approval to renew Microsoft Campus Agreement from CDWG.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, Monica?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on, 2.4, Superintendent's Recommendation. I need a motion for the approval to renew HPE Aruba Wireless Support.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we have roll call, Monica, please?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on, 2.5, Superintendent's Recommendation. Motion for Adams County School District 14 and District 14 Classroom Teachers Association negotiation approval.
So moved.
Second.
Is there a discussion? I'd just like to say that I think this is the first time in the 30 or 40 years I've been here that we've gotten it done this quick. Usually it goes on until the summer, so congratulations to the negotiating team. Need roll call, please, Monica?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on, 2.6, Superintendent's Recommendation. Adams County District 14 and the District 14 Colorado Classified School Employees Association and negotiation approval.
So moved.
Second.
Is there a discussion? Nothing, Connie? Don't want to say how fast it went?
No.
Okay, can we have roll call, Monica, please?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on to 2.7, Superintendent's Recommendation. Motion for the approval of Adams County School District 14 Support and Technical Compensation Package approval.
So moved.
Second.
Is there a discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, Monica, please?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on, 2.9, Superintendent's Recommendation. I need a motion for the approval to contract with Performance Matters.
So moved.
No.
Skip one.
You skipped one.
Would I
The
skip?
administrator's handbook,
Administrative 14.
compensation.
Was that the add-on?
Um,
Well, let's go ahead, and then we'll go back. Let's
Okay.
finish this one. Okay, is there any discussion on this?
I didn't get a second.
second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Can I have roll call, Monica?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Who did I miss? Let me see this one here.
I need a motion, Superintendent's Recommendation. I need a motion for approval of the Adams County School District 14 Administration's compensation package approval.
So moved.
Second.
Is there a discussion? Hearing none, can we have roll call, please, Monica?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on to 2.10, Superintendent's Recommendation. I need a motion for the approval to purchase Math and Focus consumables.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes. Ms. Burgess?
Yes, sir.
This is gonna be from K to 2 for the students in the district.
That's correct.
And how soon would this be up once it's approved by the board?
Excuse me?
How soon would we have these materials?
We will
the
have them for the
students?
incoming school year.
And do the teachers need to be, have PD, anything for that?
The professional development is included in this quote.
Okay. And
I think it's 10 days of professional development. They most certainly will have to have professional development.
are they gonna have it before the school
The
year
actual,
start?
we have one half-day set aside, the week of professional development prior to the student starting and thereafter. It hasn't been totally detailed, but yes, it will be ongoing in addition to class visits by the professional development person to model lessons and work with the teachers.
And have anybody else used this Consamble Math before?
This is the present program that we have right now, and it is what we're trying to do is update it to the 2015 Common Core so that students are better prepared for part assessments and best first instruction. So the teachers use it presently, not all schools do, because it's dated, so this will bring it to today's needs.
So all schools gonna use it once we update it, is that correct?
All schools, yes, it'll be a resource available, including the BT schools, yes. And shortly, we will get a second for 3, 4, and 5, because we want to make sure that all grade levels. But this quote is for K through 2.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, moving on to, moving on to 2.11.
No, we have to vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there, can we have roll call, Monica?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on, 2.11, Superintendent's recommendation. I need a motion for the approval to purchase HP Chromebooks to support Monaco Elementary School.
So moved.
Second.
Is there a discussion?
Yes. Is somebody in here from Monaco or Dr. Bragle, can you answer this question? I understand it is Title I fund money, but exactly how are the 35 Chrome computers gonna be used at Monaco?
I don't know exactly how they're going to be used. I do know that each school has a certain amount of funds in their budget that they can use their monies according to their needs. This school right here chooses to go into the area of technology, and I know that we're going to be moving with the one-to-one in various schools, and they wanted just to enhance their technology by purchasing these Chromebooks with their funds.
So we don't know if third graders, fourth graders, or fifth graders gonna be using these Chrome computers? We don't know.
I don't
Are
know.
they gonna be on, beyond textbooks or something?
Okay, Brandon?
Sorry to interrupt. Sheila was unable to make it this evening, so I'm answering those questions for her. My understanding is they'll be dispersed to every classroom. There'll be a small number of them that goes to every room, so it will impact the entire school.
Will they be using the, beyond textbooks?
That Beyond Textbooks will have their own. This is separate, that they just want to purchase them with their funds. Beyond Textbook schools, those are different. Those are district monies that we're taking care of all the grades 5, 4, and 3.
All right, thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, could I have roll call, Monica, please?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to 3.0, discussion. Discuss new agenda, future board discussion items.
Oh, no.
So,
We missing one.
did I miss one?
Yeah.
Which one did I?
That one right there.
Delete it.
Got removed.
It got removed?
Yeah, 2.12 got removed.
Okay.
What about 4.10?
What's that?
That's
Yeah.
next.
Yeah, but we're just discussion first, and it's 4.0. It comes.
Here's the last.
So just quick discussion is, again, future board discussions on this. Do we want to continue to use this type of agenda? Or do we just want to go back to the old way where we have two? Any discussion?
I'm fine with this way, right, as of right now. Plus it's at the end of the school year, but we still need to, I believe, work on, us as a board so we can get more professional as we go starting the new school year.
Okay. Any other comments to this?
I think that could be a board
Okay. Be what?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, we're all consensus. Okay, then just make sure that if there's certain items that you want to discuss, that you either call me or call Monica, so we can make sure we get it on there for further process. And the format was okay? We okay with the format?
Yes.
Okay. Now moving on to 4.0 presentation, tomorrow's makers.
Good evening, everybody. Where would you like them if they're going to present with us? Is this over here, okay?
This is plugged in, so
you have to be
careful about moving.
Sure.
Would you like it moved though?
No, I mean, we can adapt.
Okay.
I was thinking, just for the sake of time, I'll talk during the photo part of the video to save time, so.
Sure. And is your video, do you want the video run at the beginning or at the end?
Probably at the beginning, if that would work. So we've prepared a video presentation for you all to give you a taste of what we've been up to throughout this last school year. So we're a little light tonight. Most of our students have 5th grade connections in 8th grade. So there's graduations happening. So we're grateful that we had some crew that were able to make it happen tonight. Thanks for coming.
Whatever future Miko was trying to prevent by bringing the tribes together has likely been erased. We are together, all of us. We are stronger this way, and things are better. It's been a year since the adults vanished, and 6 months since the new resistance left for answers. It was my job to keep us together, and lately it feels like I'm fighting a losing battle.
The break-in, the statue piece. It doesn't matter to you, does it? Can I really be the only one who notices what you're going through? What if I told you that I can help you?
We can't be afraid of them.
We or you? What if I told you that I had the answers Ithaca and Miko are looking for? What if I told you there was a way to get back at Amaya and the ones who hurt you before?
I don't even sleep. I hate them for that.
It's clear, guys. Let's go. Whoa, is that a little guy? He's so scary.
Try it again.
What are they wearing? So are they good or bad? I'm not sure it's that simple.
What are your names? Attic.
Alan. The bigger picture, although not clear to all, is clear to Alans and Attics. We see failed experiments, we see courage, and we also see growing fire. A fury that can destroy everything. Beyond fire, Alan sees hope.
So for the sake of time, I'm going to read my statement while the slideshow plays. At the request of the Adams 14 School Board, following the release of our first film, we created a budget for an expansion of the Film Club program for the 2016-17 school year. As we waited for a response, we continued to work with our students on our follow-up project. We worked for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, on DuPont's 90-degree stage. We fed our students lunch through donations we actively sought from local stores and restaurants. As the summer winded down, it became clear that the school board was not getting back to us. This is what prompted us to form our own nonprofit organization, Tomorrow Maker Films. Doing this would allow us to seek funding from outside the school district. It also meant that I would have to make a professional decision to become a substitute teacher, giving up my full-time position at DuPont with benefits. My experience as a sub has been bittersweet. On one hand, I've been able to reach many more students all throughout the district. It's allowed me to keep in touch with my original Tomorrow Makers, who now attend ACMS, while having the flexibility to work with students from multiple schools on our current project. I've also been given the opportunity to show our work to kids in every school I've worked at. As a result, we now have a loyal, dedicated, enthusiastic fan base that looks at the Tomorrow Makers like Hollywood stars or the real-life heroes they are. The other side of this career decision has resulted in the most difficult year in terms of finance and basic survival. This was due to health issues, not having paid holidays, sick days, despite working an average of 40 hours per week subbing with an additional 20 that I've dedicated to the film program. My original intention was to use half of the time outside subbing with my students and the other half to pursue grants. After spending some time in the middle school, my eyes were opened and it was a pretty cold awakening. I learned that the need for after-school programs and engaged students it's beyond crucial. It's really breathtaking how quick these kids can change. And I've seen it happen, and it's still unreal to me. Going back to my written statement, I did whatever I could to keep the program afloat. This meant funding the majority of it out of my own pocket, providing transportation for students, cooking, and eventually relying on our incredibly supportive parents to get us through our current project. The positive changes, both academically and personally, I've seen in my students as a result of their involvement, has given me the stamina I've needed to press on. It seems that we've pushed our equipment beyond its breaking point, worn out costumes, and scraped the bottom of the barrel financially. As dire as the situation sounds, the Tomorrow Makers and myself are in the best of spirits. Our premiere in a famous downtown Denver theater is in 1 week, and we've already begun drafting a story for our next ambitious film project that we hope to shoot over the summer. We know that one way or another, we'll find a way to continue and overcome the obstacles that are sure to come our way. The purpose of this presentation is twofold. First, it's important that we let the board know the kind of work that our amazing students are doing. Second, it's a call to action. Last year, our program was passed on. We made it work in the end, created a finished project that is light years beyond our first, and now we're asking for district support so that we can expand the program, reach more students, and accommodate the massive interest that we've grown over the year. The demand is there, the parent and school support is there as well. Now we're asking for district support. I have prepared a packet for all of you that has information on our current projects, what we've done, a lot of our media coverage. We've got national and international coverage throughout the year, and some information on some ideas in terms of a partnership on how we can expand the program. And 3 schools is kind of what we've talked about here that we've been working with. So I'm open to questions. Do you guys want to pass these out? Start.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you guys want to see
How many students do you have total working?
39 in 3 different schools. Rose Hill, DuPont, and Adams City Middle School, as well as 2 beyond Adams 14 now.
And how many years have you been doing Tomorrow Makers in the district?
We did it for 1 year last year, and so this is our first year kind of doing it as a rogue organization would probably be the best way to put it.
And what are your students' say GPAs when they came in, and what are they grade level? How are
I-
they?
It's a little bit harder to measure it in terms of GPA, but I know that attendance is it's night and day for many of our students, and that we have paperwork on. So that's been a pretty positive side effect of their involvement.
And you say the parents. How are the parents so active with you?
The biggest thing that comes to mind is they've basically kept our kids fed. In order to get the project done, it's a 6-part miniseries, 20 minutes per episode, which means we have to work pretty much 5 to 4 days a week after school till about 8 o'clock, and that's dinner time. So once I ran out of money, the parents stepped in and they would make enchiladas, they would get pizzas, they kept the kids fed, and that's how we were able to sustain the project in the end. So wouldn't have been possible without them.
So I'm looking at the cost that you want for this program is $47,000. Is that?
Yeah, and that would include everything, including my work, which is basically a full-time job on top of a full-time job. I think student community engagement.
So I see here 4,000 times 3 per school year. What is that?
3 projects per year.
3 projects per year?
So that
Okay.
could be anything in terms of, we have animated projects in the works. My idea for the miniseries is to continue doing that and tell different stories in this world, and that would allow us to create new characters, involve different students from different schools, and expand it that way. And with the time, with the ability to do it as a full-time job, we'd be able to accomplish that and more.
So, and you do most of this after school? Is that
Yes, after school and weekends.
How many hours after school are you keeping students?
We meet right after school, and then we usually wrap up about 8:30. And then I do transport. So me and Ms. Cotton from Rolla, we do transport, and that usually gets us home close to 9:30, 10.
So I guess my question would be then is, how's this affecting their homework or classroom study?
That's a great question. What we didn't anticipate the length that would be required to finish the project. So in order to combat, kids coming home too exhausted to do homework, we decided to implement our own tutoring program, where the older kids would help the younger kids, and some of the teachers would work on that as well. And we did that with our second graders first, and that's helped.
So I guess your program's, second grade through 8th graders right now? Is that?
Yeah. Yes, sir. 2nd through 8th. And so in the proposal, in case it's not clear, a couple more students. Hey, guys. A couple options that we pitch would be to go the private contractor route, which is similar to, modeled after the Celebrate the Beat situation. And then the second, I'm sorry, it's actually listed as the first, would be the position one, where I would basically be doing 3 schools, programs during school in those schools, film programs, and then continuing the after-school program. And then the entry to the after-school program would be through the school-based ones, similar to how Celebrate the Beat works with 5th and 1st graders almost as an elective, like at DuPont. So try to create some flexibility there to make it a bit more feasible.
So do you have all the kids work together for the 3 schools?
Yeah, typically.
So where do you meet at too?
Last year we met at DuPont. This year we've been fortunate enough to have a pretty supportive base at Rose Hill. So that's where we've been doing the majority of our work. They have a pretty supportive staff that's helped us get through this. So it's been a blessing.
Could we speak to some of the
Yeah,
students? Come up and speak to
Anybody?
us?
My name is Rose Rodriguez, and I'm from Madam City Middle School. And the reason why I joined was because something I looked forward to was college, and I want younger kids to join because they have something to look to, and not drugs, not gang members, but to college, and that's the reason why I joined. Thank you.
next.
Good evening. My name is Valeria. I am an Adams City Middle School student. The reason why I joined was because I see the Tomorrow Makers as family, not just an after-school activity, but I see them as a family, and they've helped us get through hard situations in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody else, please.
These are actors, for
Pull your mic. Pull it down. There you go.
My name is Malachi. Okay. My name is Malachi Lamba, and I am from DuPont Elementary, and I joined the Tomorrow Makers film because it helped me. Well, first of all, my sister was in it, and I didn't want to be lonely. And then second of all, I needed to focus. Yeah, I had trouble focusing, and that's it. Thank you. My name's Raisa Lambert, and I joined and I'm in Adams City Middle School. I joined the Tomorrow Makers because I needed to practice reading and acting. It's to practice reading and stuff. And then I just wanted to make new friends in it. And thank you.
My name is Saida Hermosillo, and I come from Adams City Middle School. The reason why I joined Film Club was, first, I was interested in acting, but now that I've been in it for longer, I realize that it's something I like to do, and it's improved. The parents have helped us out, which is nice. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name is Luis Rodriguez, and I'm at Adams City Middle School. The reason I joined Film Club is because one reason my sister joined, and another reason helped me to read and to stay out of trouble.
So from what I'm listening to, Tomorrow Makers help everybody read, improve your reading, kept you out of trouble, and you stars. Well, I really appreciate this. Thank you. I got one question for you, Mr. Gallaby.
Yeah.
Having looked at the packet, I noticed last year when I went and Councilman Douglas and his wife went, you had a big premiere at the high school, but you changed venues. How come?
It was a combination of things. One, we didn't feel that we would have a product ready in time to schedule something with a date that we could keep. The issue we had last year is we had a date that was set in stone, and the film ended up being 70% done at the time. So I made a vow not to make that mistake again. So this year, once the film was ready, we set a date, and unfortunately it didn't line up with the high school's availability. But we would love to do more school showings. I know that Rose Hill is, they're pretty much the Jackson 5 to Rose Hill. So whenever they see them, they lose it. So we definitely intend to do some more school-based events once the new year begins.
So you had to pay out your pocket to rent this event for Adams 14 schools?
Correct.
To do a presentation there?
Yeah, we're making the money up through ticket sales, but I did have to make the deposit and pay for the venue. Yeah.
I guess my question is,
Sure.
why, because my understanding is, I thought it was board policy, or one of our, that anytime our students, if it's 50% of our student to use our facilities, there's no charge.
There's a process that people go through, and if they fill out the proper forms and meet the criteria, then yes, that is correct.
But the criteria was, if that as long as the majority of the students are ours, there could be other students from other schools, but as long as they are our students, there is to be no charge for them to use our football fields, our theaters, as long as they're available. So that's, can we have,
It's been described to us a couple different ways.
yeah.
So it's
No, the policy reads that if the majority of the participants are District 14 students, not Commerce City residents, but District 14 students, is that they should not be charged
Right.
for using our facilities, because their
And how-
parents are taxpayers and they pay.
And how many students out of the 39 of your students,
36.
36
Yeah.
students, are Adams 14 students?
Correct.
How many of them?
36 of 38 are Adams 14 students.
So I think that's almost 97%, if I'm not mistaken. So that's well over 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So could we look into that?
Sure.
Because we went through this last year or the year before.
The wrestling.
Because we also with the soccer kids that go out on the field, the grass, the lawns, the playgrounds, that was the agreement for them. As long as the majority of the students that were in the game leagues,
I see.
there was no charge. They could schedule their playtime, compete, and get it for no charge.
Yeah, my inquiry when I tried to find out about this was how do I make it happen? And I was told that since I'm no longer a district employee, since I sub now, that even though my students are all Adams 14, that it wasn't available to me. So, and then by the time we heard a conflicting version of that, it was already booked up for the year.
I think it's all stated in a policy. You just have to follow certain procedures. You must fill out certain forms. It doesn't matter who the individual is. You fill them out. As long as you check out the boxes and you meet the criteria, then, those things are done.
Sure.
Question, how big could you be, or do you want to be, I guess?
I mean, the potential's there. We have, in terms of the creative projects, I think there's limitless potential. Like we're pitching our second film to Netflix and Nickelodeon, just to give you like a kind of a taste of what our ambitions are. In terms of student interest and involvement, I think it's as big as we can make it. I think that our waiting list right now is close to 300. And that's just with DuPont and Rosehill. I haven't even started one for ACMS yet. And I know that being able to go in the schools and actually do something similar to what Celebrate the Beat does, without it being mandatory, we would be able to accommodate a lot more people. And I think the beauty of it is that it doesn't necessarily have to be an actor role that the kids fill. I mean, there's so many artistic elements to it that make it appealing to most kids, and I think that's why.
So you say you have like 300 waiting?
Correct.
Okay, so here's my question. You're grant funded now.
We have the ability to get grant funded.
So are you going to do that? Because clearly you have enough students. In order to function, you would have to have bigger grants.
Correct.
To widen the scope.
Correct.
So
the intention is to work on grants. Okay. The dilemma that I found myself in is that I basically had to make a choice between, do I devote my time to getting these grants and pursuing them, or do I devote the little time I have to keeping the program going and finding time in the pockets to get the grants? And I chose to work with the students this year. And so now that we have more flexibility in the summer, that's definitely on our plate.
And I think that was part of the thing we said last year, was to start it out as trying to get grants.
I think that was before we were a nonprofit.
Right.
Exactly. We were actually a school club at that time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that's the one thing I do recall.
Yeah.
Will you open it up to other schools in the district?
Yes. We originally didn't consider doing that because of the projects that we had, but then through the show, or the mini-series, we ended up discovering that that could be a great vehicle to include kids from all throughout the district. And that's kind of our way to do that while keeping things in our continuity.
And it's good to start small.
Definitely.
And succeed, and then get bigger.
Right.
Spread it out.
And we're definitely about quality. And I think that just like, I mean, that was our lesson from last year, is we're not going to just put something out there because we have a venue or because it makes sense. It has to be something that we're all proud of 100%.
So here, I have a question, because most of the children were saying how they could read better. And I like hearing that because I'm a firm believer that if you could read, you're going to make it. You're going to understand some of the stuff that we read, you know. So it was really good to hear that they were reading. So you give them scripts.
Yeah, we edit together. We write together now. We're doing our own storyboards. They're a lot more involved in that process.
I'd like to see more boys.
It's about 50-50.
Okay.
We have 5th grade and 8th grade connections, so they're at those graduations tonight. Yeah, this is not a
Okay.
accurate representation.
Okay. I just,
Is there any other questions? Okay.
My only question would be, what would you recommend the next step for us be, like, in terms of following up, or would we wait to hear from you, or is there a time that might be?
No, we'll discuss it, and hopefully by next board, we'll have something to,
because we are
Or-
working on the budget.
somebody will get a hold of you and let you know what we can do. And
Cool. Appreciate that, because that
Okay.
was a little bit difficult.
no, I
last year.
appreciate you working with our students.
Sure.
So that way, I'm a firm believer, the more, and some of them said that's why they were active, because I'm a believer, if you're active, you'll come to school. Because for me, an example would be is if I wasn't playing sports, I would have never graduated. So if this is what, we got to find things to keep our students in school that'll make them want to graduate. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Marcus.
Thanks.
Okay, moving on to communications. There's just for the Memorial Day, board members will meet at the ESS North parking lot no later than 8:30 a.m. to head over to the staging area on 64th Avenue in Oneida. So is everybody going to be here? Is there anybody that's not going to make it?
Are we still walking?
Yeah, but I hope we don't have to walk to 64th. So hopefully, you got a golf cart, right? Monica picked up 5 golf carts, I think, or 4 or something. Three? Okay, no. Yeah, Timmy and I are walking. So that's for the other 3, but I guess one of them will have to give us a ride to 64th and Oneida.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Okay, so we're saying that. And then the next question, does the board want to participate in the Quality Community Foundation QCF Golf Tournament on June 9th? If so, what sportsmanship level? Here is some of the information about the QCF and sponsorship levels. So it's on, I see here it's on June 9th to 17. Buffalo Run Golf Course, 6:30 to 7:15 is registration. Shotgun start at 7:30. Then you have lunch at 1. So I guess the tournament is a 4-man scramble or 4-person scramble.
Oh, you don't have to read it.
I was just letting know, so. There, so I don't know, do we want to, and what does this, it says give scholarships, right, for students?
Yes.
So I don't know how many they're trying to give, but
They gave 33 last year.
33, are they all to District 14, or is it two different?
Oh, no, last year, I don't know how many they gave. They've given 33 since 2008.
Okay. So it's, once again, to help our students there, and I guess we could check the prices on the second page.
I do not golf, so whatever y'all decide, I'll go with it. I do not golf.
So, so what do we want?
I don't know, you two are the golfers.
Well, we just, two of us can't make the decision. It's gotta be the board. Do
But
we,
I'm playing in it anyway, so I mean, if we can get some other,
who are you playing with?
with the team I put in.
Oh, you put in team? So, do we want to put a team in?
What we did last year.
How many did we get last year? For-
Just one.
Enough for one team?
We
And how
got
many-
one, and then in the Rotary, we put two. So do we want to put a team? Do we have 4 golfers here?
Anybody golf out there, want to join them?
Just a suggestion, why don't you get some of the seniors that graduated and have them
Good one.
partner with whoever wants to go.
They like to golf,
Or even just the golf team.
yeah.
Just food for thought.
I think if you can sponsor one team, you could probably
Yeah.
get somebody to go up, represent us.
I don't know. I'm supposed to play in a 2-man scramble already. That
So
day.
why don't we just do one team?
Okay.
And see what we.
So we
put
wanna,
in.
we wanna sponsor one team. Okay, how much? Which,
Fountain of Knowledge.
huh?
Fountain of Knowledge.
Which one's that? Oh, it's Fountain of Knowledge, which is $1,000. Fountain of Knowledge?
Good.
There's the 2 players at the back one.
Yeah, but that's registration fee for 2 players. But if we get, I'm sure we can get
Yeah.
4 individuals. Get the high school kids if they wanna do it, and
I think it'd be great for them too.
so, and then if we get 4 there, I know there'll be a couple that can play here.
Okay,
Even if we have to, I don't, what's that?
not me.
What's that?
Is there any commitment from board members?
I guess I can, but if we get 4 others, that's fine with me.
Okay,
Okay, so do I have a consensus for the Fountain of Knowledge?
Yes.
1,000? Okay. Connie, yes? Tim?
Yes.
Yes, myself, yes, so if we can just, sign up for the or sign us up as a Fountain of Knowledge, and we'll put a team in there. Okay, that'll take care of that one, and then, Dr. Abrego, is there anything that you wanted to?
Just important that we will have our last superintendent forum this Thursday, so it's the same pattern as we did before. We have one in the morning, and when we have one also in the evening at the same church. So everyone is invited.
Both of them will be at the church, at at Our Lady Mother of the Church?
So, yeah.
Because the last one I went to was at the Lutheran. So, they're both at Our Lady Mother of the Church, the Catholic Church?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, yeah, the big hall. I would just like to, for communication, I'd like to congratulate both high schools for their graduation. I think everything went pretty good. Didn't hear many complaints, but there is a few from both. Once I heard that it was a lot. It's a little bit maybe too far. That maybe we should start looking at someplace a little bit closer. Especially the traffic on Saturday was horrible. I mean, gee. So maybe the high school may want to look at, there were some suggestions, Dick's Sports Complex, there, or, on that, but, other than that, it was great. I mean, it was really, whoever set them up did a super job on, doing it. We got in there and we got out, and so one of the things that I think that maybe we can add to that, and I was talking to Monica about it, she thought it sounded okay, is that I went to 2 Jefferson County graduations. I had a niece and a nephew, one from Chatfield and the other one from Columbine. And one of the things that they did that I thought was pretty impressive, they put the Courageous Award at that time. And what the Courageous Award was that there was 2 students that one was diagnosed with cancer and the other was diagnosed with leukemia as sophomores. And the way that they were, the hard work that they had to go through and the chemotherapies and the sessions that they had, and they were still able to graduate with their class. So that shows a little courage, and maybe I'm sure that we have, it doesn't have to be a sickness, but there's a lot of things that I have heard, like students have to work till 12:30 at night to help support their family and still be able to graduate on time. So there's certain things that maybe we can look at. I don't know, it's something that we just throw out there that we can make that happen. So just that, I believe. And then I went to, last night, Dr. Abrego, Mr. Archuleta, and myself, we were at the continuation for Kearney Middle School. And I don't know, I don't think there was a spot that a person could sit there. It was so packed. So I know that our community, our parents, our grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters are taking part because it was really packed up there, and it really worked out good for our kids. And we went right through it. They said 2 hours, and we were done in an hour and 20 minutes, I believe. We started at 6, and we were done by 7:20. So things went, and there was a lot of interaction with the teachers and the parents after the awards were given out at that time. So it's something that is really showing that our community really cares about their students and their children and so forth. So if you would have seen it, I think you would have been in the dress that some of those kids really dressed up nice. There was one that looked like I Dream of Jeannie. If you're my age, you know who I Dream of Jeannie was. So she really looked beautiful. And there's a lot of the young men that couldn't believe how they were dressed up. So it does put a little pride in who our students are. So that takes that. And the last thing I like to say is, and they all left, but I would like to thank the staff for a good year. Even though we had some of our problems, they did a lot of good things for our district. And that goes to both the elementary, the middle, the high school, and our administration staff that works up here at the ESS building. So, because I believe all the students are done tomorrow.
Yeah, it's last one.
And then teachers have to come back for a day or two, and then they're on their vacation there. So hopefully it's a good year. It turned out to be a good year, and I'd like to thank them for all the hard work that they did. Does anybody else have anything to say?
Anybody else?
Harvest?
Yeah, I need to speak to Mr. Thompson, please. You can have these copies. When we was going over the budget, you and Mr. Weber wasn't present, and I had some questions about the budget. And my first question to you, did you have any input on the budget about the capital reserve fund?
Yeah, we did have some discussion about the capital reserve fund.
For this year?
For this year?
For this year, yes.
Okay. And my first question would go back to the turf at the high school. At $400,000, did y'all check to see was it any warranty on turf? Is the warranty expired or what?
No, I did not look into the warranty. We're going through the process of looking into the turf. I had some vendors that were out looking at the turf. We were looking at the turf, and we just see some areas where it could be potentially dangerous for kids. I'll look into the warranty, but no, we have not. But lifespan on turf, it ranges between 8 and 15 years, and then you'll see some from 15 to 25 years. But if you go out there and look at ours, it's pretty matted. They did put some more of the filler back in, but the filler's not even staying in because the turf is starting to curl, and once it starts to curl and kind of start fraying, it becomes dangerous for athletes to.
And June is the.
Excuse me, can I add?
Go ahead.
the turf? My question is, have you contacted Prairie View High School and see if they're having problems with their turf?
No.
Because the same company built both schools, they built the fields, and I'm just wondering, did they give us a cheaper version, as you said, of the turf, and gave Prairie View a better? Was it why? I don't know if I haven't heard of Prairie View have to replace their turf yet. Mr. Douglas, I guess.
Well, I know that you. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Douglas.
I was going to say that in their budget, when their bond passed, they replaced Prairie View High School's field and Bright High School. Before that, it was repurposed field, so it's brand new field for both high schools.
But were they re-turf?
Yes.
Okay, and how long was there?
Just I think only been like 2 years old.
2 years old, and they replaced it?
No, I'm sorry. Prior to that, when they first opened up, it was repurposed turf, and they're replacing brand new turf. Maybe just last year. If I know it's not done.
Okay.
Well, and there was a time, wasn't there, where somebody graded the snow off, so that, I was wondering if that might have had the effect of it wearing down too, because I think they, if I recall, there was snow and they went out there and,
Yeah, that was an incident that did occur about, was that last year?
I think so.
I know it's kind of like, like carpet in your home. The more you walk on it, the sooner you're going to need to replace it. Turf is no different. The more it's used, the sooner you're going to have to replace it. And if it's indoor, it lasts longer. If it's outdoor, of course, the elements get to it and things of such. But I'll look into that warranty, Mr. Thompson.
So there's $400,000 for the turf that you're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
What is the grade of turf that we're going to get for that? Is it going to be a very low, or is it going to be a little?
It's high grade, and I'll tell you, Mr. Rolla, looking at this new turf that they have now is amazing. It's not even what's out there currently. This stuff that they have now lasts longer. It's more natural. It looks like fibrous, like real grass. The technology that they have now is just amazing. I have some brochures in my office if you have some time and come look at those.
I've seen that on 60 Minutes, I think it was, they did one, and I don't think they use the rubber from the tires underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's 100, if it's 90 degrees, you're playing football going on 90, and on that football field, it's 120.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you can only imagine the turf, the fibers sitting there at 120 degrees, baking in the sun, how long that's going to last with the UV rays. So.
Okay.
My next question to you is, for the 17-18 school year, there's no playground equipment, no security, no grounds, no painting, no concrete and asphalt in the budget. None of those is in the budget for this year. So I'm assuming last year, the $100,000 in asphalt got done?
The $100,000
right
asphalt.
Here, all this stuff here. Did those things get done?
This is getting done this summer.
This summer. So how's the money carrying over from June 30th? Because that was supposed to be for 16-17 school year.
This is the asphalt that you brought up a few board meetings ago,
Yes.
and it was due to weather that they couldn't get out there and do some of that asphalt work. So that's going to get done this summer, from my understandings of the conversations that took place prior to my arrival.
Okay. And what about the rest of the stuff?
The rest of this stuff?
Yes. Because none of that
See,
stuff
the roof
is on
replacement-
17-18 budget. So I'm just trying to figure out if we're not going to paint, change windows, or do none of that. It's not in the budget.
So I know the door locks are getting done. Let me see. The plumbing is getting done. The roof replacement, that's getting done. The paint, I know they are in the process of purchasing that for next year's work over the summer. What else do you remember?
So like the security cameras, if they don't complete out the budget, that'll roll over to next year. But
I don't know the timing, so it'll go into a fund balance of the cap reserve fund, what projects aren't completed at June 30th. And that is usually why we come back and then adjust the budget to the cap reserve fund once the audit is complete and we know which projects are in next year versus this year. So there is some carryovers and that's built in, but I'm also guessing. So the best grant is rolling forward because I don't believe that will be done by June 30th. We'll have expenses next year, but it's part of the fund balance. And that's why there's 6.8 million of the cap reserve fund that's being appropriated, yet you're only putting in $2 million from current resources. So the rest is unspent money carryover from this year.
Right, but we received an email saying that there was a flood, and I believe it was Adams City Middle School, plumbing. So if there's no budget for plumbing for the 17-18, I'm just confused that no money is allocated for the budget for 17-18 plumbing.
I don't know what email you're referring to, Mr. Thomas.
Well, we just got from Ms. Rotella today, the budget. The budget does not have plumbing for 17-18 school year. You got 100,000 on there for plumbing. My question again is, how come we don't have things for 17-18 that you budget for 16-17?
So what was the plumbing that he was?
So there was a budget in this year's budget for a plumbing project throughout the district. I don't know the status of that. But part of the challenge going forward is there wasn't enough money to do the mission critical things. And when we met, we prioritized that the roof was more important at DuPont and Kemp, especially given last week's or whenever the hailstorm, rainstorm was, and a small amount to the nutritional services and the high school athletic field.
So my question, not to cut you off, is $400,000 for athletic field is more important than plumbing throughout the district? I'm trying to see the nationality of that.
I'm not aware of the leak. When we had this meeting, which was a month ago now, that was a true statement, which is why it's a budgeted plan, and sometimes events occur that there may be a decision made that we can't do the turf and we need to do plumbing or another roof or any other type of a project that's out there. That's usually what happens because it's the unknown. I'm not aware of a plumbing issue.
Did y'all get an email about the plumbing overflow at Adams City Middle School?
So, because we just did it, which, in the art room.
Just recently.
So we just replaced the D wing, and I don't know where the art room is physically.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
from
have
what I
a
understand, it was-
question. You're saying that the roofs leaked because of the hail damage?
No, they
Uh,
were already in.
Oh, they were already leaking?
Already.
But was there any type of damage done by the hail that we could maybe get something from the insurance company?
We had the insurance company out here for 4 days last week, and then they came out again, I believe, Monday. And so we should be hearing back from them here shortly.
For all the schools?
For everything that received any damage. And I've also put out that if you start seeing damage now, because sometimes it'll come in late, where you might see paint bubbling up on a wall that wasn't visible with the naked eye 5 days ago, but now it is because the moisture is trying to escape that wall.
Okay, so we do have insurance companies looking to see if we had any.
Yes, sir.
If the hail caused any damage. Okay.
Yes.
And my last question would be, Mr. Weber sent us a security camera upgrade estimate. I gave you copies, start from the bottom, and then he gave us these two sheets right here. And this was in March. Then I requested that the board passed in August security cameras. And I got this that was forwarded to the board in the Friday update. And if I'm reading it correctly, and help me, or you can ask Mr. I forget his name right now, Kelly, because it came to his department. It says 55 each full HD 1080p indoor, outdoor dome IP cameras. And then I'm looking if we got 55 came in August, and you give us an update here, I'm just trying to figure out for myself, and now help me out if I'm wrong. Is the cameras here, or where's the cameras located? I don't know.
We have cameras in the warehouse on the shelf waiting to be installed.
So
I know that.
So you just told the board, this board here, that we bought cameras in August, and they sitting on the shelf today?
From what I understand, talking to Mr. Weber, that we do have cameras ready for installation this summer that are sitting on the shelf. Now, just as you require individuals to give you information in your Friday folder, this should not have been given to the board without my knowledge and understanding, because I don't like to sit up here at this podium and get questioned on things that you've had a conversation or emails with Mr. Weber that I have no knowledge of. It's difficult for me to answer your questions when this is sitting here in front of me.
Let me clarify something, Mr. Thompson. I don't get emails from nobody. All my emails go to Monica, Dr. Brago, and Mr. Rolla.
Absolutely.
We get updates, Friday updates. Those updates come every Friday. I read them and look at them. That's what that came in from.
And that's what I'm referring to. Mr.
So-
Weber should have let me know that this is information coming to the board, so if there's any conversation that needs to take place, I have knowledge of it.
Well, you need to work that out with Mr. Weber. I'm trying to
Exactly.
figure out right now, how is 55 cameras sitting in the warehouse for over 9 months? That's
Okay,
unacceptable.
Can I just say that this is arbitrary and capricious? I
So
come up
that's what I'm
here,
just
and this
gonna-
is not acceptable. This
So,
harassment.
all I want to is there a way that you can get with Mr. Weber, find out when we purchased the cameras, when they got there, and when they plan to install them and send it to the board?
Absolutely.
Okay, I appreciate that.
And just for the record, Mr. Rolla, I'll follow up with a formal complaint, because this is arbitrary and capricious, and it is egregious, and it is an attack. Thank you.
Okay.
And for Mr. Rolla, you know what, again, we want to make sure that we do things in a professional manner. So, again, if any board members have concerns, just feel free to contact me, and I can arrange a meeting with myself, with whatever department head that we need to, so that we can take care of things, not on the dais, but in a professional manner outside of this area.
Okay, then it's probably my recommendation that we have God, I can't even think of the word. Work study, or somebody help me, study session, or someplace where we can discuss.
A retreat.
There we go, a retreat. And not a retreat in Estes Park or anywhere else, just a retreat right in here, and we can discuss, and maybe we can get some of these things settled up.
I agree. That would be good.
Okay, so I guess, think about a date when we all can get together, and maybe we'll present it at the next board meeting.
And before we have that, Mr. Rolla, can maybe Dr. J can send out a memo to all departments that they are not to send anything without their supervisor knowing.
Right, and that is protocol. I think they all know that.
Right, I know, but sometimes they need a little reminder,
We will.
okay? And at least so we can finish smooth.
Correct.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, I need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Is there any discussion? Okay, we are adjourned today at 8:05.